Right, haven't done a review in a while. Let's see how this goes. So if you couldn't already tell by the title, this is going to be a review of The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons. This is a love story set in Russia during the war. That's pretty much all you need to know, really. So before I start this review properly, there are two things that I just want to make very, very clear. The first one is that I despise this book. It has become very clear to me that a lot of people love this book. The average rating for this book on Goodreads is 4.4. I do know that a lot of people watching this will probably love this book, which leads me on to my second point. I'm not insulting the people who love this book. That is not my intention. I'm not trying to bash the author. I just want to get my opinion out there. I want to be completely honest. That's why I'm here, right? Okay, where do I start? I don't know. Oh my god, it's gonna be the longest video in the world. Okay, right, so it's a love story. That's where we're gonna start. I would just like to read a few short extracts from the book. They're spoiler-free, don't worry. These quotes for me perfectly sum up why I hate this book and why I hate the characters so much. He grew bitterly jealous of her. Even he was surprised at himself. He could not stand to see anyone looking at her. He could not stand to see her smiling at anyone. He could not stand to see her talking to Vova, much less serving him. He lost his temper with heartbeat regularity, but he couldn't stay upset with her for more than 5 minutes. My main problem with this book was the characters. There were no redeeming qualities for me. So the two main characters are Tatiana and Alexander. Tatiana is... she was extremely naive, and I'm not saying that being naive is a bad thing or that a naive character is an instantly dislikable character, but she was just senseless. She was just so irritatingly stupid, but most of all, just totally vapid. She was completely bland. I felt like I didn't know anything about her, other than the fact she just poured over Alexander for the entire book. This was the main reason I hated this book, was Alexander. He... oh my god, why is this so... Alexander was the most self-centered, controlling, aggressive, possessive, horrible person I have ever come across while reading a book, ever. There were just some points I couldn't even believe what I was reading. I honestly think he kind of represents the kind of person that no girl should ever want to be with, because he is just such a nightmare. To support this point, I'm going to read a few quotes. Are you ready? You can tell I'm stressed about this. Whirling round, he came for Tatiana, who backed away from him, her hands up, whispering, "Shura, please." But unstoppable and crazed, he came at her just the same and shoved her down onto the couch. She fell back and covered her face. Bending over her, Alexander knocked her hands away. "Don't cover your face," he shouted, grabbing her cheeks between his fingers and shaking her. "Don't make me more crazy." Abuse, no? That's not okay. Oh god. Completely unacceptable. I don't understand why that is... oh my god, I just can't even know. It honestly scares me how many people I saw on Goodreads saying, "Where can I find my own Alexander?" No one should want their own Alexander. He is the prime example of the kind of person that you should not want to be with. That is abusive. That is awful. No! Books like this just worry me because they make these kind of characters seem really desirable and really exciting, and in reality they are just straight up horrible people, abusive people who will treat you like shit, and they'll be the kind of people who will forever be in unhealthy relationships, in toxic relationships. For anyone who's thinking, yes, but he had positive points too, he showed her that he loved her in other ways. Yeah, I guess he kind of did, maybe sometimes. I don't really remember reading much about that, but I do know that love is when you love someone unconditionally and treat them with kindness and caring and understanding. He didn't really do any of those three things. There was certainly passion and selflessness, I guess. Those are the two things that he did display, but love is so much more than that. Alexander grew upset with her over the pettiest things. Her constant cheeriness vexed him constantly. This is lovely, isn't it? "There you go, thinking about other people," he said in a slightly irritated tone. "People other than me." So just to talk about something other than the characters for a few seconds, Russia during the war is actually something I was really interested to read about, something I was really excited to read about, and possibly the only thing I really liked about this book, I'm not gonna lie. But I've never seen a setting so filled with either insufferable or completely pointless characters, so the setting just couldn't make up for the rest of the book for me. I was not a fan of the writing. I think the amount of times she drew a plot point or an argument over like 30 or 40 pages that could easily have been wrapped up in like 4 pages was just constant. I did think the pacing was slow and I really struggled through it. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. I gave this 1 out of 5 stars and definitely wouldn't recommend it at all. This video is probably going to be really long, but if you made it all the way to the end, I really appreciate it. I think this is my first properly critical review, so I hope I did okay. I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching. Bye! It's obviously all about books and autumn and warm, cozy things, and I love autumn for that very reason.